Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Magician card. We've been getting the Magician a lot lately, haven't we? You are a highly intelligent person. You're doing the good work, right? I feel like you're a very adaptable person. I would say you probably know more than one language. Or actually, I'm feeling maybe not the language thing. You have very many different ways that you express yourself, right? I think words, I think body language, sure. Maybe you are bilingual. But I feel like you express yourself in other ways too, through your food, your cooking, through art, through dance, maybe. You have many ways to, maybe through poetry, maybe through photography, visual arts, painting, music, right? Like all these different things. I feel like you have a lot of these different media that you use to express yourself creatively. Okay. I feel like you're a very adaptable person too, and I'm getting that very strongly, that you kind of, wherever your life sort of drops you, you can make it work, right? But just because you are adaptable, just because you can adapt to a situation, does not mean you should, right? The magic of the Magician here is the ability to channel that divine energy, that creative energy, that spiritual energy, whatever you want to call it, that great mystery of the universe, to be a clear channel of that, to receive it, and then to express it, to transmit, receive, transmit. And those are both of those are very difficult to accomplish. Just to open yourself up to be able to receive what is coming from spirit or the universe or your own soul is a very difficult task that many of us spend lifetimes trying to figure out how to be receptive to that divine energy. In other words, just how to even see the starlight or listen to the voice of our own soul. Let alone then how to transmit that out, how to project that, how to manifest that. See, the Magician is nothing but a conduit. It is the messenger, Hermes, Mercury, right? The messenger of the gods. So you have to be able to listen to what the gods are telling you, or God, or the universe, or deity, whatever you believe, goddess. Let's not get hung up on names and labels, okay? We have to be able to hear that, and then do that work, whatever it is, okay? The Magician is the pure conduit, the clear channel of that divine energy. And that's how it manifests. This is the master of the science and art of manifestation. It is the Magician itself. And all of tarot is about how we become the Magician. Well, I think your Magician energy is paying off. Here's a rebirth card. A doorway to the future is the Eon Judgment, rebirth, reawakening, and baptism by fire. It's spirit blowing a trumpet in your face. This is the spiritual alarm clock. It's like all the alarms are going off now. Lights are flashing, sirens, because it's time for you to step through that doorway and answer the call. I think that you hear what spirit is trying to get you to do. You hear the voice of your own soul. You hear the message from the gods, and now it's time for you to deliver the message. Okay? Very interesting. I love those two cards together. Wheel of Fortune, oh yeah. The Princess of Swords, sure. Princess of Pentacles, of course. And look at that manifestation. That is perfect manifestation. That is absolutely perfect. I got goosebumps now. This is awesome. Answering the call, going through this doorway and doing what Spirit has called upon you to do, which is in essence bringing out the very best potential, right? We don't have to look at this in a spiritual or quasi-religious way. It could just be just very practical, right? That you have a potential in you. And your potential is unlike anyone else's potential because there's never been anyone like you, and there never will be. Your potential is your own. And the universe wants you to fulfill your potential, to bring out your true nature and manifest it. We're going from the Princess of Pentacles, a dark, sterile, barren winter landscape, right, to wealth, prosperity, right? And this is manifestation. This is the card of perfect manifestation. And that's what the magician does. I think the magician, you, right now, you know what Spirit is kind of calling upon you to do. You know what is within you that is trying to get out into the world. You know what your potential is. It's like we've received the message from the gods. But now we've got to manifest that. Now we have to do the work to bring it to fruition. We've got to transmit that energy now. Okay, so we're phase 2 of that energy, right? Of that magician flow, being that clear channel. We have a Knight of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, the Fool, and the 8 of Swords. There is reluctance when we're going, when we're doing the work of the magician and we're trying to manifest, we're trying to cause change and conformity with our will, our inspired divine will. There are certain things that interfere with us transmitting the message, doing the thing, manifesting that thing. And I think for you, it's a mental thing. Okay, I think that there is a little bit of disbelief. There's a little bit of there's resistance here. Okay, there's a card of interference. Okay, there's something going on in your soul, in your intellectual mind. That is something we need to clear up before we're able to just move directly forward. Maybe this is just a kind of a disbelief. Maybe this is an insecurity. Maybe this is we're making it way too complex. Okay, we're overthinking, overanalyzing. Yeah. So let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it right here with our little octopus friend, the 8 of Tentacles, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. All right. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. All right. Let's do it together. Let's use our intuition. All right. Let's look around the room. We've got some good major arcana, don't we? We've got the Magician and the Eon. We've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool. Okay. I feel like you've never had a hard time making friends, right? I feel like you have a lot of people around you right now, and maybe it's maybe it has to do with what I was feeling at the beginning, that you have a lot of different ways that you express yourself, and so it could be that you have a very active life. There's a lot of things that you're interested in, a lot of people that you relate to and talk to, and it kind of feels like it feels like you have a kind of a complex network in life, right? I think Spirit is summoning you to manifest a certain aspect of that, to focus your power on a certain form of that expression. Okay? This is a doorway to a new timeline. This is a doorway to, wealth, success, the absolute perfect manifestation of your potential. It is financial, but it's not just financial. Okay? This is your best life. And so there is a major decision that you've got to make now, because I feel like you kind of know what your heart is pulling you toward, or what Spirit is calling you toward, or that sort of thing. You feel the summons. But there's something preventing you from going through this door. It's like I'm not ready to leave the past behind yet. I'm not ready to sort of to fully commit to this one thing and kind of leave other things to fall to the wayside. It could be that we're not. For instance, we're not really we're not ready to settle down and commit in life because we like having our social life. I like being in my 20s and just having a bunch of friends and going and doing stuff. It's kind of like saying I don't want to commit to that career because I like just being able to kind of do what I want every day. I don't want to commit to a major in school because I like just learning different things. I don't want to be stuck in one particular track. Yeah, and we can take in terms of relationships or jobs, careers, paths in life. Very often we don't want to commit to one path in life because I'm going to miss those other paths that can be so fun and interesting too. I feel like you've done a lot of that exploration. And our Princess of Swords in the background here, I feel like this is you exploring. This is you sort of looking around life and exploring different paths and trying different things. And this was, I think, a very important part of how you opened yourself up to receive the message from Spirit, to receive the message from the gods, right? That kind of says, this is what you're meant to do right now. I think that you've experimented. You've maybe dabbled in a lot of different things, and maybe nothing really hit. Maybe nothing really felt that strong, like it just gripped your heart and it just said, it's undeniable. This is the thing for me. This is what Spirit wants me to do. Because one interesting thing about the reading here, we don't have any fire right now. Fire is here, right? This is a doorway of fire. But we don't have any fire cards. We don't have any water cards. We got the air cards, and we've got some earth cards. We don't have any water. We don't have any fire. So what that is telling me that you've experimented with a lot of different things. You've researched different things. You've learned about different things. You've been on a lot of different paths. And that's why I think, again, you have a lot of different ways that you express yourself. Like you cook and you do art and you like music and you're into dance and you do sports and you have a lot of different things. But I don't feel there's ever been that one thing until now, that one thing that gripped you and motivated you, like that one ace of cups that brought out that ace of wands, that one thing that made you feel like this is what I need to do. Nothing ever like really seized you and made you feel like, I have to do this. This is what means the most to me. This is what I want to spend all my time doing. And so I feel like that's happening now for you. I feel like it's kind of like, it's weird, And that's where we get our Eight of Swords at the end, because it feels like, I don't know if I want that. I kind of like, it's different anyway. It's different than what my life was like. Being here with the Princess of Swords and the experimentation, the dabbling, the talking to a lot of people, learning a lot of different things, and kind of being out there and gaining some experience of the world, right? It's a big, huge transition. It's kind of like we got to leave this behind us if we're going to go this way and really devote ourselves to fulfilling our potential in this way that we have been called upon to do. And this now, that means that this Eon card is literally Spirit blowing the trumpet in your face and saying, this is the one for you. This is the one that you should do and commit to, and this is what your soul really wants to do. So I feel like this kind of is taking you by surprise. That we're living this life where we're doing a lot of different things and we're sort of enjoying that, but we haven't really found the thing, the one, And then suddenly all the alarm bells go off, and it's just like, and it grips us and it seizes us. And it's like the alarm clock has sort of woken us up, and it's like, I've found the one, And I feel like this is where we are. And going through this doorway is going to change your future. You're going to have to leave the past behind. No more of this sort of experimentation and dabbling and all this stuff. This is like the future here is ready for you to create it. It's kind of like the magician has received that spiritual energy, and now you've got to go through this doorway in order to really manifest what you've been put here on this earth to do. Okay? And in the future position, this Ten of Pentacles is the best life. This is the absolute fulfillment of your potential. The Princess of Pentacles is transforming into the Empress. But we'll see if we get that maybe as the mystery card. This is wealth. This is health. This is a very full life. Okay? And I think that, you have to, well, we'll see that with the Knight of Pentacles. You have to look at this. You have to envision this and see what this is really going to be like for you. Okay? Because right now I think you're just experiencing that thing. It's almost that path, that purpose. You're hearing the call. You feel the alarm going off. But we haven't really looked into the distance yet to see how it's going to manifest, how it's going to come together, what it's going to look like. Right? We'll get there. But first, Wheel of Fortune. If this is the spiritual alarm clock, or the spiritual alarm, going off, this is the clock itself, the divine timing, right? Spirit's wristwatch. And so I feel like you've always known that something, like there's always this feeling inside of you that, one day I'll discover this sense of purpose. And I feel like that's why we've been out here doing all these different things. And I say dabbling, I don't mean that in a kind of derogatory way. I mean that you have a lot of things you do. You're good at a lot of different things. Okay? But this is kind of like the idea that, when it's meant to happen, it'll happen. If something's really truly meant for me, like it'll stick out. There'll be some synchronicity. It'll glow. It'll shine a little bit brighter than the other things, right? I don't think you were expecting it to be a full-on, like, alarm clock kind of, alarm system going off in your face that this is the one. I mean, it's overwhelming. I think the energy that it's undeniable. It's kind of like the only thing that you can see now. It's blinding. And everything else pales in comparison. But I think you've always known that you were meant for great things, And I think now you're realizing that it's time. It's time to move into this new future. It's time to put the past behind me. This is a major decision to leave the old universe behind and start building the new one, right? Building the rest of your life, building your future. And this is really, this is expansion, this is growth, this is a lot of luck. I feel like you've always been a lucky person. I feel like you've been through a lot of things in life where you're like, I don't know how I got through that, but I got through it. You must have had some kind of divine intervention. There was an unseen hand at work that helped you through a lot of things in life. Yeah, it feels that way. I feel like you're somebody who you kind of want spirit to take the wheel. And I think that we have sort of felt that we've just been sort of, not drifting on the ocean, but we've just been sort of exploring the various ports and exploring the various oceans and seeing what's out here, not with any kind of a navigation plan necessarily. It's just kind of, going where the wind blows a little bit, right? But I think now something has taken hold of the wheel of the ship, and I feel that your engines are really coming online here, and Spirit's taking you in this very different direction. Okay, in a direction which is different, right? Because we're having this sort of exploratory kind of energy is very different than having this sort of very narrow, very well-defined sort of path right now. The Princess of Pentacles, like I said, this is your potential. This is saying that there's all this verdant energy latent in this card. This is like a winter landscape. And what we need is the fire, the light of the sun. We need the heat and the warmth to bring out all that verdant energy, to allow everything here to grow. So it kind of feels like to me that you have a lot of potential in you, but you've never really been in the right alignment of forces, people, places, and things that bring out that sort of abundant springtime growth and energy, right? So it's just kind of like you're a seed of potential, and we've just been looking for the right soil. We've been looking for the right thing that we can connect with, that allow us to bring out this potential of ourselves. Okay, I feel that a lot for you. I feel like maybe you've been looking for the right environment. Maybe you've been traveling a lot in life. Maybe literally, kind of sailing to different lands to find out where's going to be the right thing for me. Where am I going to, when will I find myself in the right situation where it's just like everything connects and there's this surge of creative energy. See, all this fire that's suddenly on board now. All this creative fire just suddenly starts booting up in you, right? And it's not all about environment, but environment does matter. And like I said at the beginning, you're somebody that can adapt to any place, right? But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Environment matters, okay? And you want an environment that is going to help you to grow into this wonderful, full life, to build the life that is meant for you, to fulfill your potential to the utmost, to work toward this best life. You got to find the right soil, And now what we need to do is, if we are making this decision and we're accepting this charge, this message from Spirit, and we're going to start manifesting, right? We've got to take a look in the future, and that's just, we're sort of connecting with our general energy of the Knight of Pentacles here. We've got to be able to see what this best life looks like. What does wealth mean to you? Where do you see yourself in a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road? Okay. Your fate is changing. And I think that Spirit is asking you to look at this this path now that's gripping you. Whether it's a new place or a new career, or it's a form of expression that you're going to commit to, a decision that you're making to say, this is what I want to do. This is what I must do. Take a look at that path and look at the short, medium, and long term. And what do you see? Right? That's a very important step here, is to be able to see the path itself and to see what you are anticipating, to be able to, to anticipate challenges, to understand how to begin. See, if we're looking at all 10 pentacles, you got to look at the ace, you got to look at the 2, right? You got to be able to understand where to plant the seed. You got to understand what decisions to make to move forward, what changes you need to make about your life to get on this path and stay on that path. You got to understand the 3 of Pentacles. You got to understand the blood, sweat, and tears that it's going to take. What are the resources that I need from me to make progress here? You got to understand the 4 of Pentacles, which we have over here. The 4 of Pentacles, the habits, the routines, right? The sort of the so-called stability, the safety, security, stability. You've got to understand what habits to implement, but you also have to understand the 5 of Pentacles, which is going to be how do we challenge ourselves enough that we can keep growing? Like, how do we make progress? Life is going from a 4 to a 5, 4 to a 5. Find some sort of stability. I'm standing here. Okay, now 5 of Pentacles, I'm taking a step this way. And once I stop, 4 of Pentacles, taking another step. And that taking of that step is the 5. It's motion, it's movement, right? But it's willed movement. Also, it is being able to anticipate obstacles, right? Kind of in a way looking for obstacles. If we're just stuck in the 4 and we're doing what's comfortable, we're never gonna do anything. We're not progressing, right? We need the 5 and we need the 6. The 6 is the joy and the harmony and the beauty of having succeeded through those challenges. All right, that we went from a 4, we invoked change, we tried to do something, and then the 6, I succeeded at doing it. And that feels good, and that's progress, and that reinforces your sort of commitment. And then the 7, the 8, and the 9, of course, is a continuation of that process. Understanding where our weaknesses are, pushing ourselves up to the very edge of what we feel we're capable of doing, and then reaching a little bit further past that. Okay, and then finally getting to that 9 and 10 of Pentacles where we're living the best life, and your life is changing big time here. Okay, now if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Your general energy is the Knight of Pentacles, which is that sort of vision of the future, right? The Knight of Pentacles is looking at the 10. And is looking at the mountain, right? You can kind of see in this card that the figure's looking at that mountain. You can see sort of the base of the mountain. You can see presumably they can look and see the summit of the mountain, or maybe it's hidden by the clouds, like Mount Olympus, right? But it's up there somewhere. And able to see like, okay, at the beginning, at the base of the mountain, there are a lot of options. There's a lot of things to do. At the base of the mountain, there's all this dabbling that I can do. But then the further up the mountain we get, the more narrow becomes the path. The less room for mistakes, the less room for error, the less room for variation, right? There's less wiggle room the further up we get, right? Because it's narrowing. It's like it's a pyramid, right? Until you get to the top where it's just like you are doing the thing, and there's not a lot of variation in your approach, in your commitment, right? So we're sort of looking at the path, okay? And we understand it's going to be a climb. And you are someone who understands that this is a lot different than being at the base of the mountain. You can just sort of do a little climbing over here, over here, over here. You could just run around the mountain and circle the mountain, and you can explore these different pathways. Every path leads up the mountain, right? Until you get so high up that all the paths sort of merge into one, right? But down here at the bottom, we can do a lot of things. We can dabble. You're learning a lot of skills, different paths, take a few steps on each path, and it's gaining a lot of experience. You're learning a lot. Okay, it's a very good thing. But eventually we have to just sort of commit to one path and make some progress up that mountain. But all that experience that you've gained is very useful. Okay. And so in essence, when we get higher up the mountain, all the paths sort of merge. Yeah. And so in some ways, when you get to these highest levels, there's no difference between a chef or a musician or a guitar player, a drummer, or a painter, or a photographer, or a business person, right? Or a librarian, or a writer, or a poet, or a garage door mechanic. At the highest levels, all paths are the same. Okay, the details may obviously be different, right? But in essence, it's the same. Okay, so I think that this is really important for you to see that picture in regards to your current situation and the path that you're being summoned to take right now. Yeah. Now you've got this Four of Pentacles in your environment already, so to me that kind of feels like you got kind of a nice situation going right now. You've got some stability in your life, in your relationships with other people, and in your relationship with the environment itself. You're sort of protected from the elements. You've got your water, shelter, food, right? So it really takes something very, very, very strong to get you out of here. Because the Four of Pentacles is kind of what we all are looking for, just a little bit of safety, security, stability in life. I want to feel that I'm living in some kind of sort of harmonious arrangement with my surroundings. I got a job, my bills are paid mostly, my debt's not too bad, I get along with my neighbors, I got food on the table, like it's okay, it's pretty, it's working, right? It's not a Ten of Pentacles, it's not everything that I could possibly fulfill from myself in life. But it's difficult for us to sort of choose to step in a new direction from this. It's hard for us to invoke change. Change is scary. Change means that I have to go outside of this Four of Pentacles, and it doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It doesn't mean you have to leave your house, right? Or leave your family or anything. What it means is that you have to take a risk on doing something that's outside of this current stability. It's going to be unfamiliar to you. Really, it's the Fool. The Fool is leaving the comfort of home to go on that spiritual journey. Okay. And the Fool goes on the spiritual journey to do what? Become the magician. That's all tarot is. The Fool becoming the magician. Well, you already are the magician, And so this is something that you're very capable of doing. And I think that you're someone who has started over in life already. at least once. That you know what it's like to sort of step outside of your comfort zone and do something new. You know how that is kind of scary sometimes. And I think you're okay with that. Okay. And the Fool is in this position of the fear, worry, concern. But I kind of feel that it's not really a fear for you. But I don't know what your resistance is, except for that 8 of Swords. Because I think the Fool, you can manage this. In some ways you kind of like starting over in a way. And I think that's why you're so good at so many different things, because you like sort of, I got too bored, cooking. I want to go try, a martial art or something, right? So you're sort of stepping away from what's become comfortable, and you're challenging yourself to learn something new, to start a new path. And I think that's something that you're very good at. And that's created a vast wealth of knowledge and experience for you. I mean, I feel that you're highly intelligent. You know a lot about a lot of things. Yeah. And now I think Spirit is showing you the kind of, the ultimate path for you that you need to focus on. And I think see through all the way to that 10 of Pentacles, not just dabbling in it, but really it's a life-changing shift. It's saying this, I'm doing this, I'm committing to it because this is something that I feel is gripping you like nothing else has. Again, there's no fire and water here. I don't think you've ever encountered anything that makes you feel like this is it, this is the one, and there's nothing else for me but this path. Right? But there is that 8 of Swords that is blocking you. That's interference. That is, we're thinking about it too much, perhaps. Okay. This is a Jupiter in Gemini energy. So it's an expansion of, Jupiter is over here. Okay. And if we bring that Jupiter energy into our minds, we start overthinking everything. We start looking, it's kind of like, we can take it with the Wheel of Fortune too. If we see everything in life as a sign, everything is an omen, everything is a message from Spirit, right? Everything is a message from the gods that I'm supposed to transmit because I'm the magician, Mercury, the Hermes messenger of the gods, right? Everything is a message. We get way too much data, and and pretty soon we're just loaded up with all of these files, and we don't know what is actually a message and what's not. We don't know where each message is supposed to go, and we just get overwhelmed by the data. Okay? So if we look at everything as being an omen or a sign, we're going to be very confused, because we're going to see, a fly landed on me. That's a sign, okay? And then, a butterfly landed on me. Well, that's a sign too. And is it the same message? Or is like, we get one sign that says go left, we get another sign that says go right, and we're just like, what do I do? So I think we have to be reasonable and not overwhelm ourselves with that kind of data. I think we're looking for that obvious, major, like neon sign kind of thing. It's kind of like your heart starts beating faster. Oh, I like this path. But you look over here, your heart starts beating faster. I like that path too. Okay, well, what do I do? Well, we look for the one that really is this booming voice, this obvious thing that grips us. You'll know it when you see it, Let's look at the mystery card. I would love to see the Empress as the Princess of Pentacles transforms and your potential evolves and grows out of this new situation. I'd like to see some water energy or some fire, though, too. Okay, maybe even the Hermit card. Let's see what we have. Oh, it's the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, good deal. You're living your successful life. I mean, this is you on this path. Living that life, living that successful life. You got your pets, your plants, your people. Okay, I think that this is a lot of gain, a lot of growth. To me, it's saying that the longer you stay on this path, the more successful you will be, and the greater experience you will have. And I think that the The Wheel of Fortune is going to continue to turn in your favor. If you stay committed to this and you keep working at it and you keep building it, it's going to be, it's wonderful, wonderful success here. Yeah, wonderful success. We're going to do an I Ching reading. We're going to do some oracle cards in the extended reading. There's a link up top. There is a link down below. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're currently watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.